feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake up to back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake up to back of the pack, kill it anyway. You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the
Welcome everybody back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here on a Wednesday night or Wednesday day, Wednesday morning, whatever time it is for you. I appreciate all of you being here today. This is different for me to do this during the week, but for my guest, I thought let's do this as I really wanted him on my show. And speaking of guests, welcome MCToon. How are you doing?
I'm great.
That's good. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's been a while. It's hard to schedule this, but I'm glad we found a time.
I'm glad we did. I do want to apologize to everyone. Not that I have to, but I feel like I need to. My country my one and only power supply company in the country decided to do load shedding at our time of streaming. So I had to push the stream up an hour. So at least I had some time to get the stream sorted and set up so we can stream for you guys. I was quite angry about it, but nothing I can do. So I had to just, deal with it and make sure that MCToon was informed as soon as I knew. And so we could make sure that this was still possible. So thanks, MCToon, for at least being okay with setting it up an hour later.
Yeah, it works for me just fine.
Awesome. So let's thank everyone in the stream so far. Clive, Wells, Saif, Mr. Victory. Thank you guys so much for coming. Rob Parks, 7, Harry 7, 2 new names I haven't seen in the stream. Welcome. It's good to see you. David Brock as well, also new. Mr. Andra, thank you so much for joining. Amisidal, is that how you pronounce it? Thank you also so much for joining. The Pratal, thanks Johnny for coming in. Facty as well. Goodness gracious, so many names today. So good to see you guys. Theo as well, thank you so much. Wow. Marius, awesome to see you. Neil, thank you so much for joining. I see that Jane is also here. And sure, thank you so much for coming, guys. I do appreciate this very, very much. If you do like what you see tonight, please don't forget to like the video. I don't usually do this, but I'm hearing a lot that it's necessary to say, please like my video, as it helps with the algorithm. I do want to try and get my videos more out there and increase my presence on YouTube. So liking it as well as commenting. Please continue the conversation in the comments. I know that it can be a little pointless after the conversation has happened during the live stream, but it is good to see your guys' opinion that are watching this after the fact. It's good to hear your opinions as well. And if you guys in the side chats, if I've missed your comments or you'd like to bring a point across or something, it's good to hear you guys in the comments, and then we can carry on the discussion there as well. In any of my streams, I still go back. If there's a comment, I still go back and I comment, or I like your comment, or so on. So it would be good to carry on conversations in the in the chat, in the comments below. Oh, sure. So with that, as most of you know, for the new names that I've seen in the chat, the format of my show is 4 questions per show. We will discuss them. These questions were done last year already, so I don't remember these questions when I set them up last year because I have a memory like a fish. The reason why I don't give the questions out beforehand is because these are raw answers. So there's no point in giving out questions if they're going to be raw. We don't want, prep time. Otherwise, what is the point of this being a kind of conversation you'd have with your best friend or a friend at 2 o'clock in the morning? These are those type of meaning of life kind of questions. These are the, what is the meaning of language? Why do we use language kind of questions? So it's very thought-provoking questions, and for us and for there to be preparation for this just take away the essence of it being raw, So I do that, and that's how I prefer to do this on my channel. And with that, there are no right or wrong answers. Just because you have a different opinion to someone doesn't mean it's wrong. How we see things in life is based on our experience and our own opinion. So my one and only model that I have tonight, being Clive Wells, I do not tolerate trolls. I do not tolerate bullying, and I do not tolerate people telling each other that their answers are wrong in this regard of this conversation. So this is my one and only warning. I do not tolerate any of that on my channel. So with that, shall we get going?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just cold and my adrenaline's pumping. Okay, so let's get it. So question 1 is, how does intelligence emerge in a species?
Oh my goodness, that is a great one. I suppose the kind of generic is through environmental pressures. That there's a benefit to having more intelligence, and that particular, a more intelligent breed or species or whatever trait is more likely to make it to the age of reproduction. But I think that's maybe just a little too biology. How does it?
You can go as scientific as you want.
Yeah, well,
it's your opinion.
Yeah, I don't. I could just. You could just recite those things and go after what has kind of been the agreed upon mechanism, but it's maybe there's a more thought-provoking or esoterical version that there's some sort of a external to pure biology and science answer. And certainly people that have a religious persuasion, myself included, would say, yeah, there's more to it than that. That there perhaps is a soul of some sort, and that's somehow tied to intelligence. I don't know how that might happen. People have proposed ideas for that, but I think it's outside of what science can really explore.
I think when it comes to intelligence, I think it also depends on what we regard as intelligence. Do we regard intelligence as 2 cells coming together to create, to reproduce, or do we see intelligence as making fire, making the wheel, or inventing the wheel? Is that what we see intelligence as, or do we see intelligence as us creating electricity, or inventing electricity, or finding electricity, should I say, or space, inventing space flights and such like that? Is that intelligence, or is it just the mere fact of two cells coming together to make a new cell, or to reproduce, should I say? It just depends on what we see as intelligence.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I suppose then you could say it's maybe more than just the ability to survive against a predator or against a challenging situation where you may not have enough food to survive, but more like that you can plan ahead. So the intelligence to build a fire so that you can, because you know that tonight it's going to be cold, versus an animal that has an instinct to, the sun is going down, it's getting darker, and the instinct says you should go find a place that's going to be warm. Right. So planning ahead maybe is a distinction that you don't have in just cells coming together.
Yes. So the fact that I had my electric, I've got an electric hot water bottle. I put that on 15 minutes before the show to make sure that when I started my show, I don't sit here freezing my butt off because, who wants to be cold? But I would rather be sitting here warm and prepare myself to be warm, have my blanket, have my hot water bottle. Does that mean I'm intelligent, or me having this kind of conversation with you deemed as intelligence?
Yeah. I think those types of things are certainly farther past the line of demarcation.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you look at the history of as organisms were becoming more intelligent, that at some point there was a something that happened that's distinct from other life forms in planning ahead or making rational decisions and evaluations based on input.
Yeah. But then, I've always said this to people, and I think some people agree with me. You don't need to know math and science or have a doctorate in certain topics to be intelligent. I'm not a math or science kind of person. I dropped them in school when I could, and I took the more creative subjects that I could. But it doesn't mean I'm not intelligent. People know how to debunk flat Earth in a more scientific and mathematical way, where I can say, here's why I think the Earth is round. I just look at basic things such as are other planets around. I look at the fact that I can't see Mount Everest from where I am. Just even the fact that I can't see the Big Dipper from where I am, and you guys can't see the Southern Cross from where you are. Just those few observations already tell me I don't need to do the mathematical sciences, the mathematical equations, or the scientific experiments to know that the Earth is round. So intelligence comes in different formats. I can have this kind of intelligent conversation. I can have this kind of a conversation with people. It doesn't mean that I know math and science. For me, that having these kind of conversations is intelligent conversations. Whereas some people think that having a conversation about math and science or biology or those in-depth kind of subjects is intelligent.
Yeah. Yep.
So
that gets to more of a how did it happen, and then what is the relative intelligence of different people.
Yes.
And I think that's certainly something we talk about when you say when somebody says a flat earther is unintelligent. That is something specific about their cognitive abilities, though they still can plan ahead, they still can make rational decisions about things.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. And it just depends on what we see as intelligent. A video I saw the other, it was quite a while ago. You could say it was the other day. I don't even remember. But someone was walking with a bag of cement over the one shoulder and carrying a wheelbarrow under his arm. Now that seems intelligent to him because he doesn't have to drag something along. But we know what's intelligent is to put the wheelbarrow down, put the bag in the wheelbarrow and push it, because that just seems intelligent and less effort.
Yeah.
But to him that seems like he's being intelligent because he doesn't have to drag anything along or push anything along. But it's just easier to push the wheelbarrow along.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on people's level of intelligence. But what we see as intelligence may not be intelligent, when someone's doing something else like that.
Yeah. Well, and certainly dealing with flat earthers, we see a lot of things that we would not call intelligent. that is the result of their attempts at rational thought. We were like that didn't quite match. You try again.
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, but then you got to look at some flat earthers come to terms with the fact that the Earth is round. Did they all of a sudden become intelligent, or just
that's a great question. And there's the people that have escaped flat Earth get a little bit of flack from these people sometimes, saying, well, you used to think this way and not have this rational ability, and now you do. And the ones that have come out, if you look at Ranty, Seek Truth, Speak Truth, Jose JG, they like something clicked with them. Like they got to the point they're like, oh, it's not flat. And then like everything else also fell away that they were holding on to before. Maybe not everything else, but certainly a huge amount of things. Like I don't know for sure, but like Ranty used to talk about chemtrails, and I think because he's kind of joked at himself about it, that he doesn't take that position anymore.
Yes.
And same with Speak Truth. Seek Truth, Speak Truth has said that the other things that he had when he first was like, okay, the Earth isn't flat, that he had a few of those kind of coming along as baggage, but they like he discarded them all pretty quickly. So I think it's for them, it's a switch kind of that there's this thinking process that wasn't working right before, and then it started working right.
Yeah, I understand. It's just, I think it's just a matter of now understanding what they thought was right, and understanding that it isn't right anymore.
Yeah.
And start studying and understanding what is a conspiracy and what isn't a conspiracy. What is, sorry, all conspiracies, I beg your pardon, but understand that why it's wrong, or why you can't tell someone not to think a certain way, because you are then taking over their right to free thought, right to free speech. They are allowed to think that, for instance, there are UFOs. They are allowed to think that the government is holding back the US government is holding back information about UFOs and things like that. Those kind of conspiracies they're free to think about, but it's the ones that are intellectually proven to be false. That they need to understand that what they're thinking was not intelligent.
Yeah.
So, for instance, the flat Earth is not an intelligent way of thinking, because there's proven evidence to say it's not flat.
Yeah, it's been falsified, as we say. And
yes.
and it's frustrating because they're not going through the right process. They're saying, well, they're starting with the conclusion and then applying kind of some mental exercises to try to rationalize these beliefs that are not true. But to be honest, I don't think that any of us are immune to this. I think all of us probably have things that other people could look at us and say, what are you talking about? You are doing things in the wrong direction based on a necessary conclusion. I think if we're honest, we all can admit that that's a possibility.
Yes. I saw a question in the chat here about, where is it now? Oh, goodness, I've lost it. Oh, here it is. The question was, how intelligent was Shakespeare or Van Gogh? I think they were very intelligent. Just because they were artists, because one was a writer and one was an artist, doesn't mean they're not intelligent. I think they're very intelligent.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes it's when you read things and you look at things that are old, sometimes there's this impression that because they didn't know the things that we know now, that somehow they're not that bright. But man, when some of these things you read these old things from Socrates, Plato, things in the Bible, things in Caesar's writings, they're very brilliant, and to come at it like, oh, that's old and so they're not going to be bright, like, that's wrong, because I think there are plenty of very smart people, and they're the ones, of course, who rose to the top in enough ways that their writings and thoughts have survived the years.
And that should say something. You don't have to. It doesn't have to master science for something to be intelligent and for something to last as long as it has. I saw a question by Neil K. He says, is intelligence the ability to look at what evidence or events have happened and come to a justified answer?
I think in a way, but often that's wrong. If you look at geocentrism, that was a popular position for a long time. People looked at the evidence and came to the conclusion of geocentrism based on the available evidence.
Yes.
And then now over time, more evidence came through, and eventually people are like, they concluded that it didn't match. And so there's other better explanations. And of course, then you get back into that regression, that, infinite regression of people who have the old model or the wrong ideas and holding on to them. So geocentrism wasn't easily dismissed by the ones that adhered to it when heliocentrism was first posited. Yes. It took a while.
And it did, but most things take a while, to stick. Not everything is taken on a whim, like geocentrism didn't. A heliocentric model wasn't a let's take it in and this is how it's going to be. There was a lot of fighting for it to stick, Yeah,
and with good reason. You don't replace the current understanding easily, right? You need to do a better job. And so the people that are the experts in the existing top model are both entrenched in it and experts in it. And so they're going to give the new thing the big challenges. You see the same thing with Vera Rubin, who first identified, or at least she's got credit for, maybe I'm wrong on who first identified it, but for the galactic rotation problem that she saw that galaxies were rotating too quickly for the amount of gravity, and it was not well accepted. She had a lot of struggles getting it accepted, and she had to, kind of go above and beyond in providing evidence for it, and she stuck it through, and in the end, it was shown that her analysis was correct.
It was because of a black hole, if I'm not mistaken.
No, there is no current well accepted explanation for why that happens. Oh. So dark matter is one of the main proposed hypotheses for the explanation for it, but it's not been confirmed at all. So it's still a outstanding question in physics, along with many other outstanding questions. Yes. So a non-intelligent person might see that, or somebody who has kind of a predisposed selection to dismiss things that don't agree with their flat earth or geocentric model or something like that, they may see that problem in physics as a complete refutation of all of physics. And of course, that's incredibly wrong and I think not intelligent.
Yes, because as for me, how I understand it, that the intelligent way of looking at it is that science is about asking the question, not about proving the question.
Yeah, science. To be very pedantic, science does not prove anything.
Yes.
Though people use the term, even scientists use the term a little too loosely, and instead mean a large amount of evidence instead of proof.
Yes. I agree. Right. So I see a lot of people are saying things like, she's the person that got me into astronomy. I've been into astronomy since I can't even remember, since 4th grade. I was reading astronomy books about our planets and such instead of taking our storybooks. I think I said this before in one of my streams, that instead of taking out novels or storybooks or something like that, for English classes, I would take out books about space.
That's cool.
And read about that. That's what I would be doing, because I didn't want to read about, James and the Giant Peach. I didn't want to read books like that. I wanted to read about space. And to me, those were stories as well, because it's telling a story about how the planets came to be, how the solar system came to be. Yes, it was very basic because, 4th grade, but it was still more interesting to me than learning about James's peach, or something along those lines. So I was doing that, and my teacher did come to me and ask me, why am I not taking out any storybooks? I said, well, this is a story for me. It's telling me about the story of Saturn, the story about our sun, the story about our earth, things like that. And she left me alone, and the whole year I would take out books out of, because in our schools, each English teacher had their own personal library in their back room. And by the time I finished all the science books, all the astronomy books in there, she allowed me to go to our school's main library to get books from there instead. So I was just more interested in space than I was about a fairy tale world.
That's cool.
Neil, I didn't know about Harry Potter back then. So, yeah.
How dare you bash Harry Potter and that reality? Oh.
I didn't know. I only heard about Harry Potter, I think, just as the first, no, not even, but I think it was about 2 years before the first movie came out, when I saw a friend reading the book.
Oh.
And then I actually got into Harry Potter because of the movies. And I'm still waiting for someone to beat me at Harry Potter Trivial Pursuit. So.
Oh.
That's how I got into Harry Potter.
Well, I'm sure I could volunteer to lose to you on that one.
I'm sure a lot of people could.
Yeah, I've read all the books, but it's been a while, and
Yes.
One of my kids was asking me about it just this weekend, and I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah. It's a big story to get into. It's like the same as Lord of the Rings. There's a massive story behind and a massive lore behind, books like that.
Oh yeah,
And
I've read the Silmarillion twice and still
yeah,
a bit baffled about that.
yeah. I mean, even J.K. Rowling is still updating lore on the website for Harry Potter. So there's so much. So, and I haven't even gone through all of it yet. So, Harry is here. So there we go. Right, let's go to question 2.
All right.
Right, question 2 is, are there limits to human creativity?
Limits.
Yes. Are there limits to human creativity? And my answer is flat out no. There is none.
Yeah, I've seen many proposed explanations for things from flat earthers, and I've seen, we've seen some of the the art that people put forward and look at it and say, what is that? That's crazy. That's not interesting. It's creative, but it's not interesting. So I think yeah, there's all sorts of things that people could think up, but are they marketable? Are they interesting? Are they worth exploring or building? Right? Somebody can think up a sculpture, but you might not just build it because it's impractical to build. But working strictly within the realm of creativity, which is just about ideas, then yeah, there's I don't know how you could think that there is a limit to that.
I think the only limit is your imagination and the resources that you have to you to bring that to light, or bring it to life, bring that idea that you have to life. Because creativity produces ideas and produces inventions and music and movies and stories like Harry Potter, like the Lord of the Rings, things like that. These are all creative ideas, just in different lanes. Van Gogh was a creative mind. Tesla had a creative mind.
Yeah.
It's just the limit of a person's resources, a limit of, as I've seen in the chat now, a limit from what our government allows us to make, a limit of, what we put on ourselves because of internal pressures in our mind, our mental health, our, there's a lot of things limiting us, but in terms of there being no limits on what we can do creative wise, there is no limits.
Yeah.
Absolutely none.
So, strictly speaking, if creativity is just about ideas versus like politicians limiting creativity, I think that politicians can't limit what ideas you might have.
Yes.
That they might limit they might try to limit your ability to share some ideas, especially if they're not palatable to general population, but probably with good reason for some of them. But you could still think it up, and they can't stop that. No,
they can't. But I think it also just depends on what that idea is, and that is why a government would stop an idea. It all just depends on the outcome of that idea.
And there are platforms that don't allow certain videos,
Yes.
right? That might be very creative, but you wouldn't want them to be generally on a platform. There may be other platforms that specialize in them, but I think there's always a limit to what somebody might want to allow.
Yes. 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 I saw Neil. He said that his art teacher once told him that there's no such thing as an original idea anymore.
Yeah. Thousands of years ago, people said there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
So different versions of the same idea, I suppose, different combinations of same ideas, or is it that in general the good creative ideas have been thought up? You could, for example, in music, you can create a scale based not on 13 halftones, but on 17 halftones, right? That might be that it's not actually new, but you could come up with a number of halftones or semitones or intervals that is new and has never been used before, but it just might not be that interesting.
Yes. Yes. Tusk says there are some ideas that have been tested to be proven to be dangerous. It is the responsibility of the government and the public to make sure these ideas never allow to become popular again. Of course.
Yeah.
And that is fine with me. But if there are some ideas that could enhance human or make life easier for humans or us as people, let it through. Let it happen. But a lot of things are hindered because of the cost of things. So for instance, the cost of copper is going up because of Bitcoin mining and cryptocurrency mining.
Yeah.
The cost of electricity is going up because of crypto mining. So there's a lot of hindrance for us because of over-abuse of creativity, if that's ever such a thing. It's an abuse. There is an abuse of creative things. So, for instance, like crypto mining, it's a freaking clever idea if I understood it better. But for me, what I understand from it, it sounds very clever. You can make a lot of money from it, but now you are hindering a lot of other things. You're buying crates of graphics cards to do the mining. So myself as a gamer, I can't now get that graphics card that you've bought a crate of because you've bought them all.
Yeah.
The copper that's made to make that graphics card is getting expensive. So therefore, graphics cards in general are going up. The chips to make those graphics cards we're running out of. Then they can't keep up with the making of these chips for the graphics cards because people are just buying them in crates. So it's the creativity of that is amazing, but there's a lot of problems with it. That's along the way.
Limited resources hits the wall there.
Yes. And I think that's what was forgotten in the pursuit to make money. A lot of these things were forgotten.
Yeah. Well, I think Bitcoin was not, when Satoshi created it, I don't think his intention was for him to make money. I think his intention was quite a bit different. He stated them in some of his original posts that it was a decentralized thing, something that governments can't manipulate. And you can't, a bunch of security things around it. And an unintended consequence is that our resources are scarce because of mining.
Yeah.
And I think to support that, Satoshi has not spent, whoever he is, it's not sure who he is, but he has not spent the many Bitcoins that he mined initially. And he is, I think by now, a billionaire by the current current valuation of Bitcoin, and he still hasn't spent it. So he may be dead. He may have stopped his ability to or lost his ability to spend them because the computer crashed or hard drive died or something. But yeah, I don't think that he did it to make money, and it was more about the other things that he was stating. But now, certainly, people are mining Bitcoin and other coins for money.
Yes, yes. And they say that Bitcoin's the way to go as a new currency.
Yeah, it's very volatile right now, which doesn't make it good for a currency. But there are other benefits, like you can't have inflationary policies from a government to go and reduce your spending power of the money that you already own.
Sure, it's a very very involved question, this one. You know, where does creativity stop, and where does it start and stop? That's the question. You know, creativity could be anything, you know.
Yeah, well, let me
Yes.
say this. I write anti-spam software and anti-phishing and anti-virus, and the creativity of the scammers is quite something. We see new scams all the time in how to fool people.
Yeah.
So these very creative people are putting their, excellent skills to try to scam people, and it's sad. They could probably do better, but that's where they've put their efforts. And
Yes.
When we see a new scam, a lot of the time, once we've dealt with it, we're like, wow, that's a good one. These guys are good.
Yeah. I mean, just even scamming, people phoning you to help you with your computer problems. I've in the last 2 months, I've received an email that's supposed to have come from our licensing our car license department, saying that my driver's license is expiring on the 31st of the 1st, 2021.
Okay.
And I have some kind of grievance against my name, when on my card it's expiring in August this year. So and they're using the exact same email address. To me, it looks exactly the same as the email address that is from the department. But I know it's not real because, for one, when I booked to get my new card, there was no notice to say that I have that I have a grievance against my name. And two, the date that they say and the date that's on my card is two different dates. So that to me tells me it's a scam. Yeah.
Now, what if it matched?
Then I'd worry.
Yeah.
Then I would worry, but I'm not worried because
there's their creativity. They only they only have to hit a certain percentage.
And the fact that they use that it's now June, and they say that my card is expiring on the 31st of January 2021. It's already passed. So the use of language is also, to me, tells me that it's fake. So. But yes, it's the creativity part of things is also, I mean, just seeing now Neil trying to advertise my Twitch streaming, the creativity you see on Twitch is unbelievable. Some of it is downright stupid, and some of it is downright clever to get the views. The one thing that they're doing now is bathtub streaming. I don't know how that got okayed by Twitch, but it's been okayed by Twitch.
What kind of streaming?
Bathtub streaming.
Bathtub. So people streaming from their bathtub?
Yes.
Oh my.
There's an actual category now for it.
Oh,
I don't know if that's clever or if that's utterly stupid on Twitch's part
Oh my
because of
gosh.
nudity. But that's what's happening. People found a way around the rules. They found a loophole and around the rules of nudity, and they're doing it. It's ridiculous.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. But clever.
It reminds me. I had a guy I debated who, before the debate, did a promo video of himself in a bathtub, talking about how he's gonna apparently crush me in the debate, but from his bathtub. So
He crushed in a debate from his bathtub. That's great.
well, he that was his promo. He fortunately didn't actually do the debate from his bathtub.
Well, Harry has begged you not to do any bathtub streams.
I will not.
Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get on to question 3.
And the only reason why I won't is the audio in the bathroom is just terrible.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, that's the only reason why not to do it. If the audio were better, then definitely.
Yes. Guys, if you think my reverb is bad, you must
Yes.
be in a bathtub. In a bathroom, it's even worse. That's why you don't answer the phone in the bathroom, because the reverb on that just tells everybody that you're on the toilet. All right, question 3 says, why do we resist doing things that we know are good for our well-being while craving things that we are that are detrimental to our well-being?
Because cookie dough tastes so much better than asparagus.
I agree.
Yeah, that's not a hard question.
I agree.
People who likes cookie dough, because that is, I tell you, as soon as it breaks the plane of the oven, it's burnt. That's what I say.
Oh, that's funny. But yes.
My grandpa liked overcooked cookies, right? So the bottom had to be like dark and they had to be rigid. And so my grandma always cooked them like that. And so I'd go to my grandparents' house, and when I was a kid, I'm like, I don't care, they're cookies. But as I was older, I'm like, I don't want these. They're actually too burnt. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's. I think we crave things, that
taste
and I
good
think-
and that are entertaining and that don't hurt and aren't uncomfortable, right? Going for a run in 90-degree weather is uncomfortable.
But we do it.
But yeah. I mean, you need to put the prioritization in place and say, all right, well, that's more important than sitting on the couch and eating cookie dough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at it, what they're talking about here and well-being on the question could be anything from your health to your mental health to, your physical health and your mental health. It doesn't generally just mean your physical health.
Yeah.
Drinking your Listerine because you like the taste is bad for you. Is really bad for you. But
Wait,
some people the taste.
who likes the taste of Listerine?
I'm not saying, I don't know. I'm just saying there could be some people that actually like the taste of Listerine to actually drink it.
I think Neil K probably does like the taste of Listerine and struggles every day to not drink it all.
Well,
just
I could
guessing.
say the same for tequila. So
Tequila, yeah.
Tequila is terrible.
Oh, tequila.
Yes, tequila. Tequila is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Of
there
course.
are some people that drink it, but to me, it tastes like freaking cough. Oil. It tastes like fluid to me. Some kind of stuff that you shouldn't be putting in your body, but people put in their body anyway. And I did when I used to, go out clubbing a lot more often. That would be 2 tequila shots and a drink, and that was me for the night. Unless I got drunk and there was a few more. But that was me. Now I pull this face of, what have you put in my body, and I'm ready to throw it back up at you. That's me and tequila. We are not good friends anymore. But I think we just do it because we can. I think we do it because of rebellion. We want to be rebellious in some way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, each of us, regardless of how goody two shoes we think we are, we like to get involved or do things that are not good for us.
Look at this. Look at this. We've got confirmation from Neil. Neil K says, I believe in Listerine and the woo it supports.
There we go. That is actually quite funny. So I don't know. I think people just like to. I think the craving stuff that is detrimental to us can also be seen as a way of gaining attention, even.
Yeah, certainly some people do that. A little Munchausen syndrome. Maybe.
It's a very good question, to be honest. I mean, like for me, I'm allergic to cat fur, but I have 2 cats. And I do that to myself because I love cats. But I have learned to what triggers my allergies and what doesn't, and how to make sure that I don't suffer badly with my allergies. So don't rub my face on their belly, you know. Once I touch them, go wash my hands. Don't rub my eyes, you know, things like that. So I've learned that, but I mean, I still.
You could just get hairless cats, right? Just.
That's not a cat. That's not a cat. That's a rat.
I've heard that poodles are hypoallergenic, so you could get a half poodle, half cat.
Yeah, I'm not a dog person in the first place. So, but what I'm trying to say is that I still rub my face in their belly because I love doing it. I love the soft fur in my face. So, you know, I just do it because I love it. And even though it's not good for me, I still do it anyway. But I think we just do it because we can.
It's a trade-off. And imagine the boring person that only does what is absolutely the best thing.
I wouldn't like to meet a person like that, to be honest.
No, I think that person. I think we all probably know somebody that kind of leans that way. That's a little too, by the book and measures out the appropriate amount of chocolate chips that they're allowed to eat in a week, and they never stray from that.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not going to hang out with that person because
no,
they're not going clubbing with you. That's for sure.
Well, I think I'm going to be losing a few subscribers after my comment of not being a dog person. Doesn't mean I don't like dogs. I don't mind dogs. I don't mind.
Don't cave to the
dogs.
pro dog people.
Let me put it this way.
It's
I'm
okay.
an animal person. I just won't own a dog of my own. I've looked after 2 dogs. They were too much for me to handle because I'm an independent person and I have to do my own thing for 2 days at a time without coming home. Then to have a dog that I have to feed and stuff, to me, seems clingy. Where a cat, you can put food out, and if they get hungry, they'll go find their own food. They're independent, like me.
Yeah.
That's why I like cats. That's why I don't mind having cats. I can put food out for a weekend. They've got food, they've got water, they're happy because they all come to you when they want love. So you don't have to be there all the time. That's why I love cats.
Yeah.
And if I could have more, I would. But unfortunately, my complex has a limit of 2 4-legged animals at a time.
So what you're saying is that when you own your own house, you are going to be the crazy cat lady.
A crazy cat lady with a fiance. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, well, I guess that's tough.
Yes.
They'll have to get rid of the fiance and just have cats.
Or he can be the crazy cat man.
Yeah.
That
I don't know if that happens. Is there a crazy cat man? Men do other crazy things. It's not the cats. It's different. I don't know.
Well, he either accepts the cats or he leaves. Not my problem. No, luckily he loves cats just as much as I do. So that's okay. He can stay.
I think Facty nailed it here. It says, you love cats because you like to abandon animals?
Hey, don't put words in my mouth. No. I like cats because they're independent. And just remember, the cats don't belong to me. I belong to them.
Yes, you are their staff.
House. Yes, this is their home. So they don't want me here. I leave. They have the house themselves. They party. They clean up, and then I get home. That's it.
They clean up.
That's it. But
they leave a pile of vomit on the back of the couch. They're like, clean that up for me.
Luckily, my cats don't vomit.
Oh.
I think I've found in the time that I've had them, I think I've found maybe 2.
Oh, so they do. They do vomit.
No, I mean they don't vomit as often as other cats do. I know I've had cats that vomit at least once a week or once every other day. My cats, when they vomit, they swallow it again.
They what again?
They swallow it.
Oh, ew. That's what dogs do. Dogs eat their vomit.
No, they don't even let it come out.
Oh, they puke in their mouth and then bring it back down.
Yes. Yes.
Gross.
Yes. But they healthy. I've asked my vet and they're healthy. So he says there's nothing wrong with that. They're healthy cats. So
Clive has a good point there. If you're only allowed 2 4-legged pets, then how many 3-legged pets can you have? Because I have a 3-legged dog.
Clive, you're getting very technical now, as he does. No, so obviously what they mean is you're only allowed 2 dogs or 2 cats, or 1 dog, 1 cat. That's what they meant by 4-legged animals, or 4-legged domestic animals. You can't have goats and sheep and other kind of animals in the complex. It's only cats and dogs that we're allowed.
What about a seeing eye goat?
No, only cats and dogs.
You can't. But it's for a disability. It's my my seeing eye sheep.
Yeah, no.
No.
No. No. Thanks, Clive. Thank you for that conversation. No, I'm actually quite glad, because if we didn't get another cat, my fiance would have insisted on a dog, and I'm not willing to have my garden dug up or wires being chewed, or having to worry about where the dog's going to be during the winter, because for me, dogs are meant to be outside, and my garden is way too small. So that would be animal abuse to allow a dog in my small garden.
So no, garden would be yard, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So my yard is probably the equivalent of probably about 5 meters by 6 meters.
Yeah.
Which is still too small for any kind of animal, even if it is a Chihuahua. It's still too small, because dogs need a lot of space to run, and running in a circle is not good enough for me. So, and taking them to the park or letting them walk around walking them around the complex is just, I don't have the time for a dog. So for me to own one would be abuse, because I just don't have the time or the patience.
It does limit your ability to do things.
Yes. So yes.
We need when we go out of town, we got to have somebody take care of the dogs or bring them with or something.
Yes. Look, my neighbor does look after my cats if I'm gone for an extended period of time. But if it's just over one night, I just put up enough food for them, enough water, and they're happy. As long as they can come and go as they please, they're happy. And no, I'm not moving, Mr. Andres. I love my house. My little house that I'm in.
He says move.
It's easy for me to keep clean. So they say move into a house. Yes. Are you going to come and clean my house for me? Because that's another thing. So yeah, Theo saying he has a fox.
That rescued her, and she visits every day. Got her on Instagram. That's cool. So
that's awesome.
Not a total domestic fox, just wild fox that visits you still.
Yes. Did you name her? Did you name the fox Megan? Because I'm not assuming the fox's gender, but did you name it?
Yeah,
Megan,
and also Theo, what does the fox say?
Yes, Harry, I'm from South Africa. I am. If anybody else didn't know.
So how's your Dutch?
We don't call it Dutch here, it's Afrikaans.
I know.
So it's a different dialect, yes. Completely different dialects. Although I do understand a bit of the Dutch language, but I cannot I can't even have a conversation with an Afrikaans person because my Afrikaans is not very good either.
Oh.
So I battle with languages for some reason. Also, I battle with other languages that's not English.
Okay.
So
you sound very American then, because that's all we know.
Because I've been on YouTube for too long.
Oh.
You've been listening to the accent for a long time now.
No, I'm not saying that you have an American accent. I'm saying that you sound like an American in that you only know one language, and that's English.
Oh, that. Yeah,
that's us. That's us.
Well, you guys are supposed to know Spanish as well, French as well, aren't you? Don't you learn that at school?
In school, typically you're expected to take 2 years of a foreign language, but that's about it. You're not after 2 years of high school French or Spanish. You're not talking to people.
Okay.
Yeah, you're asking. I forgot to say where's the bathroom? Hey, how do you say where's the bathroom in Spanish? Baño. I know there's baño in there somewhere. That's all they get. I have a friend that took 4 years in high school, and every year for a couple years after high school, they would have a Spanish 4 reunion. And I joke with him about how they would get together and talk in Spanish. He's like, no, we don't do that. None of us can speak Spanish.
Well, I can understand a bit of Afrikaans. I can say a few words in Afrikaans, especially the swear words.
It's what everybody learns first.
Yes, but don't expect me to hold a conversation with you. They can speak to me in Afrikaans, and I will try and keep up and translate for myself. But I can't. I will respond in English.
Oh yeah.
My mom, she could have taught me Afrikaans and maybe Italian, but she didn't, and she doesn't even know why she did it that way, because I asked her. So we could have been a bilingual family, because my dad understands Afrikaans, even though he's British, even though he comes from England. He understands Afrikaans, but he'll respond to you in English. My mom could have spoken to us in Afrikaans, and we could have learned the two languages. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. But it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. My fiance is Afrikaans. And he's actually, trilingual? We understand we can do 3 languages. Oh, wow. So he's English, Afrikaans, and he can speak and understand Zulu.
Wow.
So, yeah. So if and when we have kids, he'll be teaching our kids those 2 languages, because, because I don't want to make that mistake with my kids. So, because apparently Afrikaans is a dying language, and I want to do my part to, even though it's the youngest language in the world, I want to do my part in still keeping it alive.
Yeah.
Even though it's small.
It's the youngest language in the world?
It's one of the youngest languages in the world, yes.
Oh.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Is there anything else you want to bring to the question of why do we resist doing things that we know are good for our well-being while craving things that are detrimental to our
well-being? We definitely got off track on that. So
we did.
Yeah.
That's why I asked if there's anything else you would like to bring up with that. I think we covered it.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Right. So let's get on to question 4, which is, could it be possible for humans to create something completely novel and new that is based on nothing but previously... Sorry, let me start that again. Could it be possible for humans to create something completely novel and new that is based on nothing that previously existed? Or is human creativity just rearranging and building on previous ideas? And I think that was already answered in the chat earlier.
Yeah, we kind of did.
So
Yeah, if you go with the thousands of year old claim that there's nothing new under the sun, then no, but I don't think that's totally the case.
No. I
don't know.
Well, just facts, you just brought this up now. Bitcoin was never a thing thousands of years ago, so that is something brand new. However, it still falls under currency, so it's not new.
Yeah, but the math to it is distinct, and at some point in the past, the particular math necessary for it had not yet been thought of.
Yes.
So that hasn't been around. The foundations of it, yes, but not the specifics.
Well, thank you so much, Rob, for joining the journey. I appreciate it very, very much, and welcome to you. I hope you enjoy your time with us. Ooh, another one.
Mademoiselle. That would be.
Oh, there we go.
That would be. Oh my gosh, why did I forget her name? Flat Earther that I've had on twice.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Welcome to the journey, and welcome. I hope you also enjoy your stay, and I hope to see you guys around a little more often. I'm guessing you guys are from MCToon's community as well. So thank you so much. I appreciate that very, very much.
Yeah, that's Mallory. Thank you. I'm sorry, Mallory. I didn't mean to forget your name. Mallory. Yeah, she's a flat earther and a furry, and she's funny and pleasant, and people like her, even though she thinks the Earth is flat.
Well, welcome anyway, and just because this is out of this world thinking, your out of this world thinking is accepted here. Even if we agree, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. So with regards to this question, I think we have covered it, that there are different, there can be new ideas, but it's all just rearranged in some way or another. However, the idea of space travel, I think that's new. I think, or maybe it's just traveling, just reinvented so we can at least get off the ground.
Yeah, I suppose if you take the thousands of years ago, people didn't think that there was space potentially, that they thought instead that there was some sort of a hard dome. I don't know how prevalent that was, but let's say that at some point in the past everybody thought that. Then the idea of space travel is distinct from then. So in that case, yes, I think there are new things that have not been thought of before and are not just a rearrangement of other things, provided we don't go down some infinite regression of breaking everything down to its absolute fundamental parts. So yes, and so then there's going to be new things that nobody has yet thought of that are going to be thought of and done and going to be awesome. So
yeah, no, I mean,
I don't think the standard musical progression of GDBA is ever going to change. I don't even know if that's the right chord sequence.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
But there's some sequence of chords that like many songs uses the same sequence of chords.
Yes, I've heard that as well.
And I've heard songs that try intentionally to get away from music that has been thought of before, and it's quite terrible mostly.
It's only terrible because we're not used to it.
I don't know. Some of it is, I think, independently and objectively terrible. I'm kidding. I don't know. I think if that's all you've heard, then it might not be. And certainly some people like it enough to that the bands can exist.
Yes. So. But and like I say, I think it just depends on your taste of music. And, you know, some people don't like jazz. Some people do.
Yeah.
Some people don't like swing. Some people do. Some people think it's really awful. And then some people, you know, you put on a DJ like Tiesto and you say, what the hell is this crap? Some people don't like it. You know, it's awful to them. And some people like to jam to it even today, even though Tiesto doesn't make music today that I know of. You know, some people like to go back and listen to his music because it was, you know, is or was awesome. It just depends on, you know. But I mean, I think when it comes to music, I think the pre-existence or something. So I don't think what do they call it, dubstep, was ever a thing ever. You know, using the sounds of a dial-up telephone with a fax machine, dial-up modem with a fax machine to make music was ever a thing or ever thought of. You know, so it's just, I don't know how to answer this question because I think we've already answered it. It's just everything that we have today is just a new amalgamation of something that's already existed.
Or not.
Or not.
Or not. I think it's like space exploration, like we said, right? Isn't necessarily a new amalgamation of something else, unless you go for the infinite regression.
Yes. I suppose you're right.
Yeah.
Neil has a question. He says, what idea from history would each of you would like to be responsible for?
Bitcoin. I don't know if I would have held the Bitcoin and not spent it as Satoshi has chosen to do.
I don't know what I would like to be responsible for. I don't know, because I've actually never really thought about it. I really haven't. If I could pick one thing, maybe the idea of a game that I enjoy playing, which is The Sims.
The Sims, oh yeah.
Yeah, so if I could hold that, I would love to. But in terms of something unique, in terms of its entire, I think The Sims is a unique game. I haven't seen anything like it, so it's still unique to this day. But if it's something more extravagant, more meaningful to everybody's life, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I really haven't thought about it. But yeah.
Well, I invented binary search and bubble sort, but I wasn't the first person to do it. So
hang on.
I don't get credit for it. What's that?
How does that work? You invented it, but you weren't the first to do it.
So they are generally software algorithms that when I was doing things, writing stuff for my own purposes, I'm like, well, I need to do something. I need to find in a range of things, I need to find the reverse answer, right? So I actually invented it for arc sine. I needed to do on the, because I didn't know enough trigonometry at the time to know that I could use sine, cosine, and arc tangent to do all of the other trigonometric functions. So I'm like, well, I need to do arc sine, and I don't know how. So I'll just start in the middle and see if I get the answer. And if that doesn't work, then I'll go one way or the other and cut it in half and cut it in half and cut it in half. That's binary search in essence. And I invented it on my own without knowing that it existed already, because this was before the internet was easily available. So I didn't have a way of looking it up, and I was in middle school, so I didn't even have like access to easy places to find algorithms that existed. So I made it up. And but no, it had been invented years before.
Yes.
And not by
me. Theo says bubble wrap and cardboard boxes. Faxi says the wheel. Clive says dictatorship.
Dictatorship.
And then Tusk says, I invented the duck and never gave any credit for it.
Oh, that's too bad. He also invented the subsurface helicopter, but the world wasn't ready for it. It still isn't.
Yes, there we go. I don't know what I would take credit for. There's so much in history that we have today that, you know, we even take for granted, you know, let alone enjoy. You know, like glasses, like cell phones, computers, telephone, your old school normal telephone, you know, that you couldn't walk around with. You know, your television, the wheel, freaking hell, your cart to carry things around in.
The duck.
The duck.
Yep.
Cats. I would love to have invented the cat, but you know, humans got there. They were, you know, past humans got there before us to make it, you know, to create, to genetically enhance the domestic cat for us, you know, and the many species we have today. But I don't know. I don't know what I would love to be. I'd take it.
Sewage. The sewage system, so that you don't have to. If you think about this, for the huge majority of human history, and still a large percentage of existing humans, people live in very close proximity and contact with sewage.
Yes.
Right. Even in America, many people's grandparents had outhouses, and so regularly were within a few feet of unexposed access to raw sewage.
So maybe I would like to take credit for the toilet.
There you go.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Because watching people live in the Victorian era, where there was, you know, where you had to live in outhouses, where you had to go to the loo in outhouses in the freezing winter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then the toilet being brought into the house. Yes, I think I would like to take credit for the toilet. Thank you very much. Central heating as well.
Yep.
Strawberry milkshake. Well done. I like that idea too.
Mallory wins with strawberry milkshake.
There we go. Mallory, you win for the stream tonight with strawberry milkshake. Strawberry milk. So that's milkshake. So strawberry milkshake, chocolate milkshake, all the different flavors. But MC, you need to go in a bit. So you've got some things you need to do after the stream. So let's wrap this up for tonight. And I also need to go to bed. It is almost 10:30 here at night. So what are your plans for your YouTube channel in the future? What is your next video you've got planned for?
Well, I finished one that I'm pretty excited about. That's exposing a potential scam in England. I'm pretty sure it's a scam of 150,000 pounds that is going to a donation, a legal donation fund for a lawsuit against the UK government that cannot possibly win. They're trying to stop 5G and and the two different angles that they've tried at it cannot win. One is saying the UK government hasn't applied the correct laws of the UK government, but in fact they have, so you can't win against that. And now they've kind of changed their ploy to say that people are being harmed by it.
By 5G.
By 5G, yeah, but they can't actually substantiate any of these claims, so they cannot win.
Okay, well, that seems very interesting. So guys, every link to MCToon's social medias are in the description. So go ahead, go have a look at what he's got. I'm sure most of you go watch his channel anyway, but just do go and have a look and watch his channel, subscribe to his channel as well. So everything is in the description. Also, I'd like to bring up that my next show will be on the 27th of June with Dapper Dino. Looking forward to that as well.
Ooh, that'll be good.
And then I just also would like to remind everybody that my Scientology show has been cancelled until further notice. I will not I normally bring out a video every Saturday at 7 p.m. my time, which is CAT. But I'm just dealing with stuff at home, so I will not be bringing out a video on Saturday. So look out for a new video next week, Saturday. So Scientology show is cancelled for now. But we'll keep you guys informed until I can think of something for that show. Because I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it very, very much. So, thank you so much, Babel. Oh, I'm sorry I butchered your name. Welcome to thank you for joining the journey and welcome, and I hope you enjoy this day. I'm sorry for butchering your name. I do apologize. But yes, thank you everyone for joining the show. Thank you MCToon for taking the time to join me today on a Wednesday afternoon for you. And like I've said to every one of my guests, the stream is the invite is open, so whenever you'd like to come back, more than welcome. And we'll do it for you during the week for your sake, because of your schedule and so on. So yeah, thank you so much. And everybody, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Donate if you want to. Donate to the cause if you feel you can or you would like to. And also, if you'd like to support me on Patreon, that would be much appreciated as well. Don't forget to like the channel. I like the videos. Go back and also watch videos if you haven't already. There's more of these, much more of these. And also let's continue the conversation in the comments down below. And with that, thanks everyone. Have a good evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Ciao, guys.
All right, bye.